everyone, it's Kelly. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're not new. I am so excited for you to be here today. We are starting a new series called Reading the Rainbow, where I'm just gonna go through each color of the rainbow and talk about my favorite books that are that color. Pretty simple. There's no rhyme or reason. These books are not related in any way. All they have in common is that they're red. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first book I want to talk about is The Women by Kristin Hannah. This is one of my favorite books by Kristin Hannah. I just adore her writing. She writes the most beautiful, heart-wrenching historical fiction that you've ever read. So this one follows a nurse, and she's a nurse during the Vietnam War. And a lot of people kind of don't believe that women are in the war at all. So she's not treated with the respect that she deserves. Even though she is in the war, she's a huge part of the war. She's essentially on the front lines, but taking care of people instead of fighting in the war. So this tells the beautiful, beautiful story of her struggles, as well as the struggles of other women during this time. And it really is a beautiful story of resilience. I just absolutely loved this book. And this is a book to read if you absolutely want to be destroyed. I couldn't recommend this book more. So the next red book that I want to talk about is a book that I feel like I don't hardly ever talk about, and that is Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in the Crescent City series, and this book was just so good. I unfortunately am of the opinion that the books kind of go downhill from here, but this one really is a standout in this series. It's just so good. It is an urban fantasy, which I am not usually like a huge fan of urban fantasy, but this one I feel like is just done beautifully. It follows a half-fae woman who is kind of drawn into this investigation when her world essentially gets rocked because one of her close friends dies. So she's like drawn into this investigation. So she comes up, there's all of these like unexpected alliances that she has to form, and there is of course a romance in this. This is Sarah J. Maas after all, and it is just so well done. Our main male character is just to die for. I absolutely ate this book up, and I would definitely recommend this one. Like I said, this is, I feel like, the height of the series, and they kind of go downhill from there in my opinion, but I will still continue to read every single book that comes out in this series, that's for sure. The next book is actually the second book in one of my all-time favorite series, and that is the Ravensong, no, not the Ravensong, the Green Creek series. The book is called Ravensong. Hello. The Green Creek series by TJ Klune. I feel like this is so underrated. People talk all about TJ Klune's other books, but the Green Creek series just does not get the love that it deserves, and this one is just so incredible. So like I said, this is the second book in the series, and it follows this kind of solitary witch who has kind of distanced himself from the Bennett pack of werewolves, and it's him kind of, it's a love story, it's a romance. Him kind of entwining himself back with the Bennett werewolves, and it is just so good. This is one of my favorite books in this series. I love Gordo, and I love the love interest in this book as well. This series is just so good. If you love a werewolf story, you have to pick up this series. It is expertly done. I love TJ Klune. I love everything that TJ Klune writes, and like I said, this is the second book. I recommend the first one. The first one is called Wolfsong, and it's just so good. So this is the next book that I wanted to talk about. The next book I want to talk about is a book that I read recently, and that is Deep Cuts by Holly Brinkley. This book follows our main character. Her name is Percy, and she kind of gets involved with this man named Joe, who is like struggling, or not struggling, like he's like an aspiring singer, and her and him, they kind of collaborate together on some music, and it kind of tells their story throughout the years, how they work together and then they're not working together, and so on and so forth. It'll really draw you in. Each chapter is like a little like glimpse into a song, essentially. It's really beautifully done. I absolutely enjoyed this book. I I can't recommend this book enough to people who like music. It's really an amazing book, and it tells a really, really amazing story. So the next book is a book that I could not put down when I read it. Ooh, and that is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. This book follows our main character, Elizabeth, and she is a chemist. She essentially is not able to work as a chemist because she's a woman, and so she ends up doing this cooking show where she kind of uses chemistry to explain like different cooking things. So this story really tells the story, it takes place in the 60s. It tells the story of like a woman struggling to do what she loves while people are pushing it back against her, and it's just such an amazing book, and I highly recommend this one. The next book I want to talk about is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and now that I'm looking at it in the screen, I feel like this book might actually be orange. I don't know. I'm talking about it today. So this book is her newest release, and just like every single Emily Henry book, this one had me hooked. It follows two writers. One of them is just like a writer who is trying, like she's a journalist. She's just like trying to get her name out there. And the other one is a Pulitzer Prize winning writer. And so the two of them go to this location to compete, essentially, to write the memoir of a famous figure in the world where this book takes place. And as they're competing, essentially, they catch feelings for each other, and it's just such a beautiful romance, but it's also got so much heart and love, and it showcases passion really well, I think. Passion for writing, passion for doing what you want to do, and averting expectations. I just think that this book was just expertly done. I worship the ground that Emily Henry walks on, and I would highly recommend this book, just like I would highly recommend every other book that I've talked about so far in this video. The next two books are not super red, but they do have red spines, so I'm counting them. So the next book that I'm going to talk about is For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. There's red on the cover. The spine is red. I feel like it counts. I absolutely love this duology. It is so good, and I feel like not enough people talk about it. It is like a fairy tale inspired book. So it follows our main character, Red, and she is sacrificed to this being called the wolf. And when she gets sacrificed, she goes there, she discovers that the wolf is actually just this man. And the two of them have this tumultuous relationship because she is essentially like his prisoner. It's very much like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And so she kind of has to unravel all of the secrets that are involved in this kind of ritual. And it's just very, very, very good. It'll have you hooked from page one. I loved this book. I loved the sequel. This is a series that I just think is highly underrated, and more people need to talk about it. And the final book that I want to talk about is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I feel like I talk about this book all the time, and that's because this is one of my all-time favorite books, and I am due for a reread. Like, I need to reread this book. It's absolutely calling my name. And like I said, there's a lot of red accents. The spine is mostly red, so I'm counting it for this video. The Night Circus follows a traveling circus that essentially appears at night, and it tells the tale of two rivaling magicians who are kind of like fighting for a place in the night circus. And there is a beautiful love story in this. It's just so whimsical, so magical. It's beautifully, beautifully written. It's such a lyrical book. It's incredible. I read this book in one sitting. I sat down and read the whole book, and that's saying something because this book is 516 pages. It's quite long to read in one go, but I could not put it down. I can't recommend The Night Circus enough. If you have not read this yet, you absolutely need to. It is so, so incredible. And with that being said, those are all of the books that I want to recommend that are red. Stay tuned because I will be doing all of the colors of the rainbow. Next up will be orange. So if you are interested in this series, make sure that you let me know if what color you're most excited for. I feel like I am excited for yellow, but I feel like I don't have that many yellow books, so I might have to find some more yellow books to read in the meantime. I cannot wait to see you in the next one. I hope you found something new to read, and I will talk to you later. Bye!